Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you for joining me again. Wellness Wednesday. There's a little bit of maybe not the clearest signal, but you know what? We're going to bear through this. Comcast has had a rough week. We have Comcast here at our office. So, anyways, thank you guys for joining in. Thank you guys for taking an opportunity to watch this. Today, I'm going to talk about discontinued goals. And today, the topic is the cost. So we've talked about the why, the what, and how. Really the why. We talked about the exhilaration of the success, how progress, and the debilitation of plateaus. That was last week. If you haven't caught those, jump on those. And as well, today we're going to talk about the cost. Here's the deal. When you make goals, when you try to achieve something you're not doing, there's a cost to it. And part of that through the process of creating goals is really the intention should be that the cost is greater. The benefit outweighs the cost, but there's a cost there. And that's something that I want to talk about and help us understand. So thank you again for joining in. If you guys have goals that you've made through this process or goals that you guys didn't share, please comment. Let me see where you're at and how this feeds into it and really explaining the cost. So this is Wellness Wednesday. We're talking about wellness, right? And part of the thing about wellness is, the cost of changing habits and lifestyles. And we could talk about business. We could talk about professionalism. We can talk about, a lot of different areas in regards to goals. But again, we're going to focus on wellness. What's wellness? Wellness may be improving your overall health. Maybe that's a blood panel. Maybe that is, what our body looks like. Maybe that's how we feel mentally. And we can all have goals based upon those areas. And if you stop and think about, oh my goodness, I need to go put in the work. Here we are, we're coming close to the beginning of the year. The holidays are coming. We have Thanksgiving in, I think, just over 2 weeks in a day. Christmas coming up. New Year's, we have all sorts of holidays. And a lot of times after the holidays, people are like, oh my goodness, New Year's resolution, I need to get with it. And we create these goals. And one of the things that I hope we're going to create here as a group, and something I know Kelly and I have done, we had actually a meeting last week about it. It's called Healthy Through the Holidays. And I think one of the things as I tie into cost and how that can be debilitating is you're like, I need to change what I'm doing, and that change has a cost. And that cost usually is, you're trying to weigh out. Am I going to go to the gym, or man, it's cold, it's snowy here in Spokane, I got real cozy in my bed, I don't want to get up at 4:30 so I can get to the gym, so I can work out, so I can get home and shower, so I can get my kids ready for school and to school before going about my day. And there's the cost. And that's why we talked about the why. Because when the why trumps what your brain is telling you psychologically, this is going to cost me. This is going to cost me time in bed. This is going to cost me physical fatigue. This is going to cost me fear. This is going to cost me, oh my goodness, this is a lot harder to get back into the routine of working out than it is to get out of the habit. And so when I talk about the cost, when I think about cost, and when I decided to, have this segment talking about goals, there's a lot of things in my life that I stop and look at, am I weighing out the cost? So when I look at fitness for me, when I look at health for me, the driver and the reason is that I want to be, the best for my family that I can be. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to move. I want to be able to not have to worry about a lot of sickness. I want to be able to go, play soccer with my kids. I want to be able to go play basketball and football and a lot of those things that I'm able to do. And if I'm well and I'm healthy and manage stress, which is difficult. Gosh, if you guys would have seen the steam rolling out of my ears just 10 minutes ago, you would understand we're not all perfect. And I have to admit that, hey, I made mistakes. I kind of barked at Kelly. I did. I'm sorry for that, Kelly. She might be watching. She might not be. And it happens. And, some of that's stress induced. We all have stress, whether it's the stress of holidays, stress of business, stress of this or that. And there's a cost there. And there's a cost to that stress, because if you allow that to overwhelm you, that's going to debilitate you in reaching your goals. And I think what's important through this process is that you hold yourself accountable. And here's the thing. If you aren't able to do that yourself, find someone. There's a study done, and it was produced, I don't know who did it, but it was written in Washington Post. It was a couple years ago. And, in this regard to fitness and, people working out, they compared two groups. They compared a group that had an accountability partner that they were friends with, and they compared a group that had an accountability partner that they didn't know. And which group do you think performed better? Guesses? It was the group that they didn't know each other, because they didn't want to let down that other person. So a lot of times that accountability partner, sometimes it's your spouse, sometimes it's a friend that you can quickly say, let's just lay in bed. Let's, instead of going working out, let's go, grab a drink, go out to eat. As opposed to if somebody sends you a text like, I'm going to work out, and you're, acquaintances of them, you're like, oh, I need to go do this. Or using social media to be that driver. So now we're all of a sudden that social cost, that cost of what others think of us, now outweighs the benefit of us regressing or staying where we're at, because ultimately we're going towards a goal. So I want to use this opportunity, as we've talked about the why, the what, the how, and we talked about the exhilaration of progress and the debilitation of plateaus, in the cost associated with, really, when you're talking about having great success, the cost is irrelevant. It's when you are having plateaus, or when you're being challenged by exterior forces, when all of a sudden it's like, man, I don't have the time to work out as much because, maybe my husband's work schedule changed. I was talking to a member at our gym about that. And she was like, man, I'd really love to get back into the habit of working out in the morning. 5:30 night's great, but I missed the morning. But my husband, he goes to work at 6. So the 5:30 class is just difficult. So there's a cost, because now she can't do it. So how important, what's the worth of that goal to be healthy, to be fit, to, have a better lifestyle, for the sacrifices you have to make? So to wrap this around, again, I talked about the holiday season, and we're looking forward. Here's the deal, is you can go about those holidays and you can think, I'm going to have fun, I'm going to enjoy myself, and I can gain the 1 to 2 pounds a week, the 12 to 15 pounds that people usually put on between Halloween, think about candy, and New Year's. Or you can say, no, I'm not going to, because that's going to cost me so much more. So that's the challenge for this Wellness Wednesday. Thank you guys for viewing. Thank you guys, Susie, Greg, for joining in. I appreciate you guys watching. Shout out to you guys across the Midwest. I know you got some snow coming your way. Unfortunately, we didn't keep it all here in Spokane. But again, that's the cost of goals. And why I bring this up, why I want to talk about it, is that if you know it, you can be better prepared. You can get through it, as opposed to just fighting a battle that you don't know who your enemy is. So that's it. Real quick, Wellness Wednesday here on Wednesday, November 8th. Yeah. Flying through this year. So thank you guys again for joining. We have one more week next week to talk about goals. And hopefully you guys have fun with that. Join us on the rest of our Facebook Lives. We have them archived here as well. Kelly and I have posted a few podcasts where we share a little bit more about us. We share about dreaming, and we have a lot of stuff kind of, planned for that. Plan for these Wellness Wednesdays. So thank you guys for joining in. Share your comments. Share with people. Would love people to enjoy this. And if you get a chance, check out our website, tylerandkelly.com, and throw in your email so that way you guys can stay up to date with what we're doing. I put the link in the comments. So thanks again, guys. Have a great rest of your day.